in audio.
This is a compilation of events that took place in Texas, centered around a school with a dark past. Many years ago, in the 1980s, government quarters were built for employees as part of a large development project. Included in this project was the construction of a school. However, the history of this school is far from ordinary. It was once a place of torture. Before it became a school, the building served as a facility where prisoners were tortured for many years. Eventually, the government repurposed the entire area, transforming it into residential quarters for government employees. But the haunting legacy of the building was not so easily erased. Many of the students and residents who lived near the school reported terrifying incidents, both inside and around the building. One such story involves a man named Victor who was driving along the road that runs in front of the school. As he drove past, he saw a man suddenly appear running toward his car. The man stopped in front of Victor's vehicle, frantically waving for him to stop. Startled, Victor slowed down and rolled down his window, asking the man what had happened. The man, visibly shaken, said, "Please tell my family that I will never see them." Again, confused, Victor asked, "Why?" The man replied, "Because I was killed in that school." Horrified, Victor sped away. This wasn't the first time someone had encountered paranormal activity near the school. Another eerie incident involved a man named Mark who was walking near the school one evening. He suddenly heard someone calling his name. The voice seemed to come from above, so Mark looked up and saw a figure standing on the roof, but the figure had no head. A young woman named Era had her own terrifying encounter one late night while driving home from work. As she passed by the school, she saw a man sitting on the boundary wall. His legs were so long they touched the ground, and, like the others, he had no head. Era screamed in horror, and a neighbor who had heard her cries came out to check on her. Shaking, Era told him what she had seen. The neighbor sighed and said, "That's a common occurrence. We never pass by this school at night." The locals, especially those living close to the school, never looked out their windows at night. They claimed that if they did, they would often see a dark shadow carrying a lit candle wandering around the school grounds. During the rainy season, things got even worse. Residents would hear terrifying screams coming from the school, loud and clear in the rain, making the downpours even more dreaded. People of the neighborhood grew to hate the sound of rain because it always seemed to carry the ghostly echoes of the past. One particularly disturbing event was experienced by the owner of a nearby store. A man entered the shop and asked, "Have 20 bottles of drinks packed for him?" The owner asked, "Where should I send them?" The man responded, "To the same bathroom where I was killed." Stunned, the store owner watched as the man left without taking the drinks, claiming he had forgotten his money. The school itself was not free of eerie incidents either. Once, a student was playing hide-and-seek with friends and decided to hide in the infamous bathroom, which had been locked for years due to the many ghostly happenings associated with it. On that particular day, however, the door was mysteriously open, and the student saw it as the perfect hiding spot. After locking himself inside, the others soon heard his desperate screams. The teachers and staff rushed to the bathroom and managed to break down the door, finding the student unconscious. To this day, no one knows what happened to him inside that bathroom. Another student, who had arrived at school early one morning, experienced something equally terrifying. He flipped the switch to turn on the ceiling fan, but it wouldn't work. He turned the switch off, then on again. But as he looked up to check the fan, he froze in horror. A headless body was hanging from the fan, its long arms dangling to the floor like ropes. Blood was dripping from the neck. Panicked, the student ran out of the classroom and alerted the guard. But when they returned, the room was empty. Whatever had been there was now gone. Even the school guard had his own encounter with the supernatural. One evening, after the school's evening shift had ended, he noticed someone sitting at a desk with their head down. Assuming it was a student who had stayed behind, the guard approached and asked, "Who are you?" The figure slowly stood up, revealing it had no head. The guard, paralyzed with fear, could do nothing as the figure vanished. This school, located in the heart of Texas, has since been abandoned. No one wants to live near it anymore. The haunted history and terrifying occurrences have made it a place of fear and avoidance, a chilling reminder of its dark past.